shops at Iverson. This is the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com, the WinDC Radio app, Facebook Live and YouTube Live on the WinDC Radio pages, and of course, it's all powered by GoWin.media.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, and everybody in between, welcome to a very special edition of the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. This is, of course, the one and only Bars. I am your host, as I am every single Wednesday, AJ Throwback, broadcasting live and proudly from the WinDC Radio studio right here in the shops at Iverson. Great to be here with you on this lovely Wednesday morning. Nice day out. Make sure y'all get outside at some point today. But you know, if you right now you're at work and you're chilling, you need a little bit of pumping up, this is the place to be. Very special guest we have on today here on Bars. A legend, hip hop legend, DC legend. We have the one and only NonChalant, who will be on with us at 11:15. She'll be calling in and we'll be talking to her about, you know, her hip hop career, the trailblazing that she's done for DC, also the things that she has going on right now. A lot of y'all may not know she is a DJ, and a very successful DJ at that. And she also has a new single out, and she's doing a concert, or she's leading the charge on a concert for epilepsy. And so we'll be talking to her about all of those things going on right now. But, you know, so make sure y'all please stay tuned. 11:15. Keep it locked. But for right now, we're going to go ahead. We're not going to waste too much time right now. We're going to go ahead and get into the music. This is Tragic featuring J Bomber and LB Smooth with Be Your King on the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. Before I break real quick, I got to shout out everybody that's watching on Facebook Live. Shout out Calvin Williams of Lush Vibes Radio. Make sure y'all are following him all across the board, and make sure y'all tune in his show. Like, he always plays some great music. And shout out to Miss Razzle Dazzle, one of the biggest supporters of our platform. So shout out everybody who's watching the Facebook Live, listening on you know, the WinDC Radio app, online, everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to the music right here on the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. This is Bars.
Let me be your king. Get her everything she want and everything she needs. She dreaming about the finer thing. Let me be your king. Take care of your fantasies, girl. I know that you a fiend. Say you ain't about that life. Let me be your king. I got a flying pie, but all I needed was a queen. We sexing and finessing, babe. Can I be your king? Let's connect, respect. I know it never be the same. Promise I get you right, let me be
you wanna live your wildest dreams and then become my queen. I rearrange your 7 chakras, now your spirit clean. I dry out all your tears and then I wash away your pain. It's out my lane, appreciate the most beautiful thing. I'm not a lame, I'm just grown man, I'm never playing games. I get your life full of luxury, all the finer things. What you know about diamond rings, matching no watch and chain. And everything you wear is silk or designer brand. The blue is water, sunny beaches and the foreign land. I spin in the band to see you dance just because I can. You could be everything I need, I never search again. She called me Usher and Little John, wanna be loving friends. Especially the conversation deep and never end. I kick the game, she never see even with x-ray lens. She's so inquisitive, my mind and it was in my pants. And when I put on this song, she be like, that's my jam.
Get her everything she want and everything she needs. Dreaming about the finer things. Take care of your fantasies, girl. I know that you're a fiend. See, you ain't about that life. I gotta fly up high, but all I needed was a queen. Sexing and finessing, babe. Close connect, respect, I know it never be the same. Promise I get you right, let me be your.
Let me give you that royal treatment. You deserve to be spoiled. Wrap you up, aluminum foil. Get you home alone, no little white boy. I can't wait to see you finally. I've been trying to stay patient, but me laying in the cup by myself ain't cutting it. I need my queen. She make everything clear by scene. It's what I call her when I'm in the water. I forgot my towel. Matter of fact, I can use your body to wipe me down. Matter of fact, girl, come get your crown. I'll be waiting down at your feet. You make my life so complete. All I wanna be is your king.
Get her everything she want and everything she needs. Dreaming about the finer things. Take care of your fantasies, girl. I know that you're a fiend. See, you ain't about that life. I gotta fly up high, but all I needed was a queen. You sexing and finessing, babe. I'll be your king. We are supposed to connect, respect. I know it never be the same. Promise I get you right. Let me be your.
If you're an urban contemporary indie artist, then this is your platform. Send us clean versions of your music to balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
I acrobat when I wanna be.
Hoodie music.
Yeah. I must admit, I'm sexy and my bills paid, but respect is due, yeah, I'm grown. So let's not be kids on our phone. Let's be direct like the positive. You watch your mouth, I'm controlling my tone. When you in my face and we get in the zone, you push my buttons and pull up and we be alone. Yo, can we talk about it? I ain't a bird, ain't gon' squawk about it. You been geeked up, but a lame, I doubt it. And I've been a little freak, not just on Friday. Is that surprising? Clapping on this track with no hands and spitting on top of my little dance. I know you can hear it. Let that sizzle in your spirit. I'm flexible, I ain't a fool in love. And guess what? I did my stretches too, like a yes sir. Happy saying yes Lord. Look at God, he been blessing you. We could be dripping, but you be tripping. Won't catch me slipping, you should be gripping me. I act about when I wanna be. I act about when I wanna be. I could bend over, I could bend over. Yeah, I could bend over, but I won't bend over backwards. I could bend over, I could bend down. I could bend over, I won't bend over backwards. I could bend over, I could bend down. I could bend over, I won't bend over backwards. I could bend over, I could bend down. I could bend over, I won't bend over backwards. Justify me? Never. You lucky I let you sit by. Whatever. All these accomplishments, look how I'm dripping in confidence. You thinking cockiness just ain't your bird? The bubble is perfect. I'll make you wait cause I'm worth it. The stress I'm gon' give plus the looks that I'm serving. I seen you look back so I know that it's working. And now I'm gon' wink so you know that I'm flirting. No, I ain't say nothing about twerking. I ain't say nothing about clapping on tracks with no hands on none of these verses. You know the beat could do that. If I ever bend over, you know it's a wrapped up a pen or a pencil. I'm picking up stacks cause the magic is all mental. But I ain't a doormat, yo. That's not what I'm into. I'm flexible. I ain't a fool in love. And guess what? I did my stretches too, like a yes sir. Happy saying yes Lord. Look at God, he been blessing you. We could be dripping, but you be tripping. Won't catch me slipping. You should be gripping me. I act about when I wanna be. I act about when I wanna be. I could bend over. I could bend over. Yeah, I could won't bend over backwards. I can bend over. I can bend down. I can bend over. I won't bend over backwards.
Want to get down with the Bars Revolution? We're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Bars On Air.
For the movement, for the heart, for the children surviving in the dark. Opulent, my mind is intelligent, my love is radical, and I want it to grow. For the movement, for the heart, for the children surviving in the dark. For the movement, for the heart, for the children surviving in the dark, surviving in the dark, surviving in the dark, surviving being dark, surviving being
Hold up,
dark.
I gotta love Jones for your chocolate covered skin tone. Sweet as a melanated kiss, your beauty's ingrown. Lips full, broad hips, the queen's throne. Atypical, your presence a true dominion. Radical, you got a mind of your own. A neon gold, what hurt you painted on your bones. Impenetrable, time stops you, weather tough as weather. Your beauty epitomizes grace upon the heavens.
My dark skin is beautiful. My mind is brilliant. My love is sometimes insecure. We will build through the storms for the movement.
Hello. Oh, okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have on the phone the one, only, legend, NonChalant. How are you this morning?
What's going on? How you doing this morning? Thank you for that great introduction. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'm doing wonderful. Glad to have you on Bars. This is truly an honor, truly a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate being on Bars. Definitely. It's an honor to me. I love what you guys do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. So I definitely before we get started with the interview, I definitely have to shout out two people. First and foremost being somebody who's been speaking up this connection between us for years and years, and that's your cousin Levette.
Yes. Shout out, cousin. Oh, yes, indeed. That's my baby right there. Absolutely.
Absolutely. She was
yes.
one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my entire life, and she's been, just talking you up ever since I've known her. I've known her for, I'd say, about almost 15 years now, and she's, like I said, she's been talking you up for years. So, this has been in the making.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and also shout out to ADST Music for coordinating this and making this happen as well.
Yes. Big shout out to ADST Music. You do that's a hard working team over there. That guy Dre is just so appreciated. He's a part of my team, and I really appreciate him.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, he's definitely I always look at how people are extensions of who you are, and definitely like his hard work and his dedication. I mean, it's definitely a testament to your hard work and dedication as well. So you got a good team on your hands.
Yes. Shout out also to Flawless, DJ Flawless, as super producer A Sharp, also a part of my team. That's been with me for a long time, for years and years. There's so many extensions. You know, it's nothing like you just said, it's nothing like having a great team and a support system around you, people that, you know, support you and you genuinely support them and believe in what they're doing just as much as they believe in you.
That's right. Absolutely. I had to make sure I threw out a shout out. Lisa Dove Washington said, "Hey, sis."
Hey, what's going on, sis? Yes, indeed. She has. I'm actually DJing. Congratulations to her. She has a book about to come out. So I'm going to be actually DJing her event coming up this Saturday. So yeah, shout out to Lisa. You know, she has I think that's the name of her book. It's right on the tip of my tongue, 'cause I definitely want to give her some love on that.
Right.
It'll come to me. It'll definitely come to me, the name of it. But before I get off with you guys, I'll let you guys know what that is, and I'll be DJing that this Saturday.
Yeah, it's actually the power of shut up.
There it is. There it is. I didn't want to misquote it. Yes, I know it was the power, but I wasn't the power of hush or shut up. So yeah, the shut up is a lot more impactful.
Yes, yes indeed, yes indeed. Yeah. So I wanted to start off. I always like to start off a little differently depending on who my guest is. So you know, of course, you know, we follow each other on social media and everything, and one of your hashtags that I always love is when you say, "Don't just rap, say something." And so I wanted to ask you about that. Like for you in your career, not just as a lyricist, but also as a DJ and as a producer. What, you know, like how do you embody that, and you know, like how would you like to see other artists around the country, in the area, wherever, you know, how would you like to see them embody that as well?
Well, you know, and a lot of people can take that in a way of saying, you know, I hate to say it like this, but getting on a soapbox and really preaching about a serious cause or something like that. But and that's one element of it. But thinking of today's music, because we have to think about today's music, and a lot of young people, young artists, really, you know, get a rap for this mumble rap and that sort of thing. When, you know, everybody, you know, I'm truly not a hater on it. I don't love all the music, but when in their context, everybody has one of these things. Everybody absolutely has a mother. Everybody has a father. Most of us have sisters, brothers. So if you were to say something, for example, like the young men in the rap game right now, that are rappers right now, if you were to speak on what your sister means to you and how you don't want certain things to happen to your little sister, you made a song about that, that's actually saying something. You know what I mean? That's giving someone a part of your heart, how you feel, and that in turn is also going to touch someone the same way, or move someone in the same way, something catchy you saying about whatever it is you say that people think are negative. So when I say don't just rap, say something, give all parts of yourself, because nobody has the same day every single day. You have things, issues that are serious to you, things that mean a lot to you, people that mean a lot to you. So that's what I mean by, you know, don't just rap continuously to hit that one emotion. Rap about everything to hit all emotions, because everybody has those same emotions. We all cry, we all hurt, we all feel good about certain things, we all feel passionate about certain things or different things. So rap about everything. Let us know about all of you, not just that one part that likes to turn up and smoke and drink and that sort of thing. Let us know about all of you.
Yeah. I think that's that's always been one of my biggest things about hip-hop artists, or really any artist. It doesn't matter the genre, because I mean you could obviously say the same thing even about R&B, because even like back in the day, I think the R&B that I kind of sort of gravitated toward was not only the stuff that like they talk about love and romance, but talk about issues that are going on in the community, things that, you know, like expand beyond just romantic relationships. And really it kind of goes for the same thing with hip hop, you know, and that's why I feel what you're saying, because for me, I don't always want to turn up, but at the same time, I don't always want to be serious. So it's like showing those layers of who you are. That's always important to me. Like, that's the difference between somebody who's just, like you said, like just rapping, and somebody who's ascending to being an artist, somebody who transcends the genre itself, and they look at themselves and say, hey, I know that I have an audience of people who are probably feeling this or probably feeling that. Maybe I should try to tap into that. So I definitely appreciate what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, that's twofold. You know, for me, you know, people, of course, know me for 5 o'clock. That's what I'm known for, and that's a blessing. But I don't have a 5 o'clock day every single day. I you know what I mean? I have different emotions. I go through different things, whether they're good or bad. You know, I like to enjoy different things just like everybody else. So, you know, that's for artists that are somewhat pigeonholed and being conscious rappers or, you know, such and such rappers. Yes, we do. We're more, you're more prone to hear certain things from us, but don't just pigeonhole, you know, us into being only having this one emotion and only being able to entertain you in this one way.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up, because rewinding back to your Until the Day album, yeah, that's the thing. Like, you show different layers on that album. Like, I mean, of course, you have 5 o'clock, but then you have a song where you talk about police brutality. You have a song or police harassment. You have a song where you talk. You have songs where you talk about relationships and love. You have songs where you just having fun and just kicking back. You have songs where you just giving straight bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're showing a different layer. So you were leading by example. You know, not just not just telling people to do it, or not just encouraging people to do it, but living it out in your music.
I was trying to, you know, unfortunately, you know, with labels, things happen, and, you know, people weren't able to hear my full body of work. But, you know, I mean, the beauty of it is music is timeless, you know, and so I'm able to continue to do that. You know, hopefully, you know, I'm able to show more people all of the sides of me and have an opportunity to, you know, continue to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So rewinding just a bit, because you know, you came into prominence in the 90s, and at the time, as most people know, you know, who grew up during that time, hip hop in DC wasn't as prevalent as what it is now. Where it's like things have kind of flip-flopped. Like, back then, go-go was like seen as the preeminent music, the preeminent genre, and now it's kind of like changing, where it's like a lot of young people in this day and age now are more into rap in DC or in the DC area. So, you know, like, talk about like that experience for you coming up in the 90s, and like, you know, what was it about hip hop growing up in DC? What was it about hip hop that jumped off the page for you in terms of like the way that you wanted to express yourself artistically?
Well, I think, you know, fortunately for me, you know, and for most people, you know, a lot of people, I listen to everything. So I gravitated to a lot of different music. And I started out actually singing in a group, and singing background vocals in a production company. Okay. And actually, you know, rapping was just something that came naturally for me. It was something that I liked to do. And when the guys at Black Productions, who actually produced 5 o'clock, heard me rapping, they was like, well, wait a minute, what are you doing? Why? We never heard this before. And I was just like, well, it was just something I like to do. So, you know, we went also down that avenue. And for me, again, it was just me genuinely enjoying myself, enjoying a genre of music. So it wasn't that I was just like, oh, I'm hip hop, I'm just loving hip hop. No, I loved everything. You could catch me one day listening to some jazz, then tomorrow listening to hip hop, then I could be listening to some pop, and, you know, I could be listening to anything back then. So, you know, but again, it was just something that I naturally gravitated to. the album that kind of changed things for me, not kind of, but did change things for me, was The Adventures of Slick Rick.
Wow.
And that record was so pivotal in me really, and there was of course, so many records that came before that from incredible artists, of course, but that was one album that I listened to, and it changed the way I looked at being an MC. He was so melodic in his storytelling, in the music, in the whole combination. And not to say it wasn't done before, but that album just really touched me in a way like, wow, this is, wow.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm listening to other records. I listened to LL Cool J and everybody before, and the females before, but The Adventures of Slick Rick was a record that, and I think it was a pivotal time in my life at the same time where, I was listening to music a lot more. I was able to drive. So, I was, able to take long rides and listen to things in a different way and be alone with the music. So, yeah. So it wasn't, hip-hop was very prevalent, and it became, of course, a real passion of mine, because then I started to really deepen and tap into what I was really capable of as a writer, as an MC, and then to see, what my lyrics would do to crowds and people, and how it would affect them when I would go in and record records. It's like, wow, I want to continue to do this in this way, in this genre of music.
Yeah. I think hip hop is special in that way, because I mean, as someone who's, I'm also an artist as well. Like, it's funny because I started off singing like when I was younger, doing like the boys' choir at school and stuff like that. But I never really took singing like that seriously. But it was something about hip hop, because I came from poetry, and like making that transition, that I could definitely relate to what you're saying. It's something about that medium of being an MC and writing and being able to put it to a beat that was just at that time, like you coming up during the golden age of hip hop, me coming up like during the tail end of it. It's one of those things, like hip hop just spoke to me, and I'm sure you could relate to that. Like, because you're talking about The Adventures of Slick Rick. That's like right. Some people will say that the beginning of the golden era was, some people say 86, some people say 88. That's like right in that time period of like the beginning of the golden era, that Adventures of Slick Rick album, which was a great album. So like, having that as an influence and like as an inspiration to kind of like open your eyes, like that's a great story right there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's to this day. I mean, when I DJ, I mean, it's not too many places I spend that I don't play, a children's story. It's not too many. Most of the time I'm rapping the whole thing. I'm getting people to rap because it's just, it's what it does for me, but yeah, I definitely, have such a respect for the culture of hip hop, so just like with me DJing, a lot of people say, oh, you DJ now. I'm like, no, I'm playing records right now. I have a respect for the craft, because it is a craft to DJ. And there are so many people, that are so dope because it's what they've done for 20 years, the same way rapping and being an MC is what I've done for 20 years. So hip hop is, it's so many layers and so many elements to it that influence you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to all of that.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit. I don't want to stay too far in the past. You got stuff going on right now. But just of course, you mentioned it earlier. Of course, 5 o'clock. You're a huge record. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I remember being in high school and that record coming out and like watching the video and like seeing the places in DC, like, oh man, I know where that's at. Like it just felt good to like see that, as a teenager, and like, man, like somebody actually putting on for the city. you know, like
Right.
the city, you know, like, and there's no knock on anybody that's in Maryland or Virginia or whatever, but like growing up specifically in DC and seeing that was just like, I don't know, it was really encouraging to see that. But just thinking about the record itself, when you wrote it and when you recorded it, did you envision it being as impactful and as big as it ended up being?
Not at all. Not at all. You know, I don't know any artist that doesn't make records for the record to be big. You want the record to be successful, but for it to have the impact that it had and continues to have, no, I could not in my wildest dreams, you know, think I would be talking about this record, you know, 20 years later and it's still having this type of impact. And 5 o'clock was not even supposed to be my first single.
Wow.
We hadn't even chosen the first single, but I was up at the label. I was up at MCA, and we were playing the album. Mm-hmm. And Daddy-O, the incredible, iconic MC Daddy-O, had his office was down the hall, and we were playing the record in the room, and was like, "That is your first single." And I was like, "This," and he was like, "That record is your first single. I'm telling you all, that should be the first single." And that's what happened. And that's how we chose 5 o'clock to be the first single.
Yeah, yeah. And what's crazy is, like, you know, I've listened to the album, and it's funny because it's like the two records that jumped out to me the most were 5 o'clock and Until the Day. And I want to say it was another one that I really liked that I felt like could have been a single as well. Dang, the name of it is slipping me. I think it's I cannot remember the name of it right now, but it was like, you know, it was like kind of one of those like relationship type songs. But like, it's funny, like listening to the album now. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
You looking good to me?
Yeah, looking good to me. Yeah, like those three right there. And Lisa Dove, she said Crab Rappers. Crab Rappers was a good one too.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, you had a lot of songs on that album that could have very well been singles, but I could see why. Like, sitting in a room trying to figure out what song is going to be like the lead single. Because it's funny that you said that, because that was going to be a question, like kind of like a follow-up question. Was that your intended first single? And like hearing that backstory, it's like, man, like that's crazy.
Right. I mean, and you know, it wasn't on the table to be, because it was an ongoing discussion, but it hit Daddy-O, so, you know what I mean, to the point. And the first time that anybody ever heard 5 o'clock, and this is really, you know, putting it in perspective of time, perspective of time of cassette. The first time anybody heard 5 o'clock was at the Million Man March. They took 5,000 cassette tapes to the Million Man March and passed them out at the Million Man March. They just gave them, and so that was the first official release to the public. Was 5,000 people received it at the Million Man March. 5,000 men received it at the Million Man March.
Wow, that's amazing. This backstory just gets even better and better.
Yeah. Wow. So I mean, you know, the record, you know, again, it's a blessing. It continues to be a blessing. And you know what I've been saying recently. You know, it's a blessing, but it's unfortunately still, very, very relevant to the times that we are in right now. So, you know, hopefully 5 o'clock gets to a point where it's still, you know, a part of, you know, hip hop history and appreciated, you know, 10 years, 5 years from now, 10 years, but it's not so relevant to our times that we're still going through, unfortunately, the same thing that's being spoken about in the record.
Right. Yeah, that's the catch-22 about it. That, like, yeah, you don't want the subject matter to still be going on, but at the same time, like, as you said, it's still relevant to the time. And that's really the sign of a timeless record, because I think one of the records that I always think about when it comes to and this is like outside of hip hop, but one of the records I always think about in terms of like, wow, that's still going on, is Let the Dollar Circulate by Billy Paul. Like, he made that record back in '75, and you could pull out a lot of those things that he's talking about 44 years later and it's still relevant, you know, and it's just and it's the same thing with 5 o'clock. Like a lot of that I'm listening to it, I'm like, that is still going on right now.
Yeah. I mean, with Lights and Sirens, you know, it was crazy. I literally said in the record, you know, talking about police brutality, and said you put your foot on my neck, and we had you know, that unfortunate situation where a man was held down and choked because, you know, they were on his neck and he couldn't breathe and he died.
Right.
So, every artist wants their music to be impactful. And, you know, I'm not going to say the same thing, but, you know, hopefully it's not. So still, you know, you're going through the same trials and tribulations. If that's what you're rapping about or singing about, you know, you're going through those same trials and tribulations years and years later. Nobody wants that.
Right. Like you hope that the music you make inspires people to, you know, think about things differently and change their behaviors. And that's the thing. I'm sure that record did that for somebody. And that's the beauty of like music, is that, you know, and I always say this, like, even if you don't change the mind of 1,000 people, if you change the mind of one person, and that one person, you never know, they could end up being somebody that spreads the word, and they talk to somebody and they encourage somebody. They play that same record to somebody, and they can play it for 10 of their friends, but they have that one friend that connects with the record. Like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should change how I'm thinking about it too. Like, that's
absolutely,
impact happens on small levels a lot of times. And then it like blossoms
small ripples.
out.
Small ripples in the water. Absolutely.
That's right. So one of the things I also wanted to ask you about, during your experience in the industry, like one of the things that, like you had a record years ago on, I think it was on the Dangerous Ground soundtrack with MC Light, Yo-Yo, and Bahamadia, and it kind of got me thinking about like relationships, like with fellow women MCs in the industry. Like back then, it seemed like it was a lot different than it is now. Not to say that the relationships don't exist, but it seemed like there was a little bit more unity back then, and also like a lot more. We had a lot more choices of you know, like women MCs back then versus now, where it seemed like it's only a few that get the shine, that get the prevalence, or that really have like huge hits like that. So like talk about your relationships with other women MCs in the industry, and you know, the importance of establishing those relationships.
Yeah, I mean, you know, back then there were so few of us, and we were going through, I believe, the struggle of really being in a male-dominated genre of music. And so definitely if you were able to get that friendship with another female MC, you wanted that support, and you wanted to support her. So, you know, it wasn't happening, you know, often that, you know, we were able to do records, because of course it was also a lot more structured in the sense of, you know, you couldn't just do what you wanted to do with any artist. You had to go through the label and so forth and so on. So I'm sure it would have happened a lot more often if we didn't have that situation of working together. But doing that record, you know, of course, was, you know, a great experience. And those people, you know, like Yo-Yo, you know, Bahamadia, are still people, you know, that I'm, you know, in contact, some more than others, but still in contact with today and support, you know, still to this day. So, so speaking of, you know, now, for example, my new record called Ratrina Non, the record comes from a combination of the names of two other female MCs from the DMV that I love and respect so much creatively and as people. And that would be Ra the MC and Kenilworth Katrina. And so I would say, you know, definitely it was happening, not as much as it could because, again, of structure back then. But I think today, because we have this thing of everything is a competition, and, you know, people love controversy, and they're more attracted to, you know, negativity as opposed to something positive of, you know, two women working together. Because let's think let's think like this for the huge battle that just recently happened not too long ago with Cardi B and Nicki. Can you imagine if those two women did a record together and did a tour together?
Right.
But people would prefer to keep them separate and pitted against each other.
Yeah.
So and so we have that situation. So for me, going forward, I recently did a post on Instagram and tagged it in Facebook and Twitter to if you know a female MC in the DMV, and that's District, Maryland, and Virginia, tag me with that young lady or that woman's name so that I can follow her, because I want to be following every single female MC in the DMV. And they did it. People tagged me with women I'd never heard of before and probably would have never heard of before.
Yeah.
But we have to do that. Will I go to each one of their shows? Will I buy each one or download each one of their records? I probably won't. And they may not download mine, but at least I know them. And at least if they're doing something, it'll come up in my social feed so I can at least know that they're there and acknowledge them. So, we just have to do better. So, records like Ratrina Nons can happen more often than not,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head. There's more power in unity and more power in togetherness. But like you said, unfortunately, a lot of times it doesn't always happen like that, specifically in hip hop, because hip hop is so competitive. But I'm glad to see, and I'm glad you brought it up, because that leads me right into the next thing I wanted to talk about. Your record, Ratrina Non, with Roddy MC, with Kenilworth Katrina, dope MCs that I respect, whose music I've been playing, on my show, and I've been following their careers for quite a while. Specifically, Roddy MC, I've been following her for a while, and I've been following Kenilworth Katrina for probably about the past 2 years. What was it about joining forces specifically with them on that record? Like, what was it about both of them that made you want to do a record with them? And what was it about them?
Well, I knew both of them previously.
Okay.
So I've known them for years, and just I'm a support system for them, just like they're a support system for me. And I consider them to be my younger sisters. And there, a number of artists that I could consider to be, my younger sister. Pinky Killicorn is my younger sister who I support. I've known her for years.
Yeah.
And that record, Ratrina Non, just came together organically. I was actually doing some practicing as far as mixing and actually blended two of their records together. And it came out so dope, and then I just started adding elements to it. And that's really how it came about, how the record actually came about. I actually had the track for about 6 months before I even gave it to them. So that's really how the record actually came about. But working with them, it's just that I've always, Raw had a record some time ago, and it won't pop in my head right now, but I love the record so much. I went in, chopped the record up, found the opening to the record, and actually rapped 16 bars on the record and emailed it to her. We never put the record out, but I love the record. I love the record so much that I felt like I just wanted to get on it. You know what I mean? So I just have such a mutual respect for them creatively. I love what they do. So, that's what it is. I'm actually a fan of theirs. So it was going to happen at some point in time when it was supposed to happen, because it wasn't like, yo, let's go in and make this record. You know what I mean? And I've had people actually tag me and say, yo, I'd love to see a record with you and Roddy MC, or I'd love to see a record with you and Kenilworth Katrina. And I was like, yeah, that would be great. And Kenilworth Katrina and I have been trying to come up with records for like a year. Like, she reached out to me, sis, I'd like to do a record. I would too. And we've listened to tracks, and it just hasn't happened. It didn't happen. But again, it just happened organically. And we've been, rocking ever since. Like, we've been working on joints ever since.
Yeah.
So at some point in time, we'll put them out, but we just got to find that, you know what I mean? It's a creative thing, Absolutely.
Yeah. And the key word that you said was organically. Like, I mean, a lot of times you want to join on songs with people, but it has to be the right moment. It has to be the right energy and the right vibe to it in order for it to be successful. And Ratrina 9, I mean, that thing is a banger. I mean, all three of you lyrically just destroy that track. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yeah. I will say that. Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah, that's a great record right there. So,
thank you.
Before because I want to circle back to that, but I wanted to ask a question that one of our Facebook Live watchers asked. So this comes from one of my homies, Justin Morrison, aka Narcissist. He asks, were you always a DJ, or did you transition to DJ after being an artist?
Okay, first, thank you for the question. Second, I'm still an artist. I'm not a DJ. I just added that element to spinning records to my brand. You know, I actually got my 1200 in 97.
Wow.
I got my 1200 in 97. Shout out to DJ Tracy Young, who I was up at PGC with, who is now down in Miami doing her thing. And she took me to Chuck to pick up my 1200s because I was pestering the heck out of her and Tigger to show me how to DJ. So she was like, "Nah, we're going to Chuck's, we're going to get some." So I got some 1200s in 97.
Yeah.
I think I had them out for about maybe 3 weeks, and then I put them away. Mm-hmm. And they stayed packed up until about 2006. Okay. Maybe 2000, until they stayed packed up. I brought them back out again and practiced with them a little bit, but it wasn't really until maybe about 2013, 14.
Okay.
Is when I really brought them back out and really, about 2012, 13. I brought them back out and really started, to practice and, try to hone the craft and try to get my craft together. So, I'm still an artist, and you can't, you don't want to be one dimensional. It was something that I love, but because again, I have a respect for DJing, I wanted to do it when I actually really had time to pay attention to the craft. And I still don't have as much time as I would like to have in order to really, I would like to go to the school of scratch. I would love to go to scratch school and really, you know what I mean? Yeah. But, it's a craft. So, I just like I said, I just added it to the brand, and I continue to practice, and hopefully, I'll be a super dope DJ. I'm not stinking up no parties. Trust me, I'm not doing that.
Right.
But at the same time, I want to be better and better and better and better, just like anybody else that wants to do something that they love.
Yeah, I can relate to every last word you just said. You know what I'm saying? Even the part about like not just branding yourself as just a DJ or just a rapper or just a producer, like honing in all of the elements of your artistry and just being under the banner of an artist.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't, like I said, nobody has the same day. Nobody's just one dimensional,
right.
And if you're blessed enough to be able to explore other things that you love to do, then do that.
Right. So I wanted to circle back to Ratrina now because this is bars, so we getting to breaking down some bars every now and then. So right. So one of the parts in your verse that jumped out to me after you said a line like "Nah, where the hell you been?" Hate that line. Then you finished out your verse and you said, "Flatline, another dead mic in the way of the NonChalant. I deaded my hiatus, so you're listening to the greatest, baby." Like that those the whole verse, like I said, goes. But like those last like 4 bars like really jumped out to me because it's like, I don't know, it was like a statement maker. It like the whole verse was a statement maker, but those 4 bars just really put the stamp on it. So why was it important for you to say that specifically in those lines, like to close it out, to almost like to let people know, like, like, look, don't get it twisted. Don't forget about me now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's pretty much what it was. Yeah, don't get it twisted. Yeah. Because and I don't want to say that in a way like stepping to fans or anybody that's listening, but at the same time, you only know me 4 or 5 o'clock.
Right.
So and you hadn't heard all of the things that I had done. Like I recently been posting, like, did you know that NonChalant and KRS-One had a song together? Mm-hmm. Did you know that the Roots and NonChalant had a song together? Yeah. So I haven't even posted it because I'll be saying, did you know that the Locks and NonChalant had a record together? Or did you know that Faith Evans and NonChalant had a record together? So I had to say that because you don't know, you know me for saying something to move you, but you don't know me as a spitter. Like, you don't know that I will really, you know what I mean? Yeah. Go with some bars. Like I can really go. Yeah. So I had to say that. And to let people know, because people do take it lightly. There are a lot of people that will take you lightly. Like, you really are listening to a legend. And I don't say that to blow my own horn, even though a little bit I do, but it takes something. It takes something for artists to have come out in the times that we did and not have the tools that you have today, right, and people still want to talk to you. It really takes something for you to transcend time, having done it in the time that we did, because we didn't have the luxury of talking to 1 million or 2 million of our fans across the world in an instant. We didn't have that. Right. There were people that actually had to get up, leave their home, drive somewhere, catch a bus, walk, ride, whatever it is they do to go to a store to physically buy what you had to sell. Mm. So we didn't have that. So for us to still be appreciated in this day and time, not only by people that were back during that age, but also in today's time, you need to have a certain level of respect for that. Yeah. You need to, because the same way we have a level of respect for people that accomplished things during times when it wasn't easy for them to accomplish, whether it be their race or their gender, you have to respect that grind. You have to respect that. And so many people don't have a respect for it. So I have to say, you're going to have a respect for it. You will. Yeah. If I have to prove it to you again, I don't have a problem with proving it to you again or proving it to you now, because you don't know me. I don't have a problem with proving that to you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because that definitely, the vibe I got from that verse was, wake up. Like, you sleeping on me, wake up. You know what I mean? Like, right. Like I can bring it. This might be 2019, but nothing's changed.
Yep. And it's my responsibility to bring it, because it's me. It's my responsibility to make you respect me, or to have respect for me. Not to make you, but it's my responsibility for me to show you that I should be respected in today. Right. It's my responsibility. Yep.
Right. Absolutely. So I wanted to also ask you about your connection with epilepsy, because I know you have the Epilepsy Sucks tour that's coming up, but you've been doing this for a while now, because I know you had joined forces with Enoch Seventh Prophet originally, for fighting against epilepsy and raising money for epilepsy. And I know, like, a lot of times with causes, a lot of times it can be personal for people. So what was it about epilepsy that made you want to really join in the cause, that, to fight it and to raise awareness about it?
Well, it's personal for me because I actually lost my nephew to epilepsy. My nephew Christopher, Avion Andromeda, I lost Christopher to epilepsy, my sister's youngest child. Okay. One of my sister's youngest sons to epilepsy. He had a seizure in his sleep, and he never woke up. He had the seizure and he passed away in his sleep. So that's why it's personal. It hit right at home for me. Yeah. And then there are 65 million people across the planet that suffer from epilepsy, and a lot of people don't really know what this disorder is. A lot of people don't, and I'm not the expert on epilepsy, because I learn something new every day about epilepsy, and it's effects, because there's constantly research like anything, any, disorder or disease is ongoing that doesn't have a cure. There's ongoing research being done. So we're learning something new. But for me, it's very personal, again, because I lost my nephew to the disorder. So last year we did have our first epilepsy concert. Myself and Enoch Seventh Prophet put that together. Big shout out to him for, being a part of that last year. We were doing the nonprofit tour. That's actually how the name nonprofit tour came about, because of myself and Enoch Seventh Prophet. Yeah. My brother Enoch, he's doing other things, and perhaps he'll chime back in on the tour, but he's actually had to step away from it, and he's involved in some other things right now. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to do it because it is a real thing. And we, under the banner of being a part of, let me backtrack a little bit. Last year, I had the pleasure of being also the official DJ and one of the hosts for the National Walk to End Epilepsy on the National Mall. And this year, I have the pleasure. I joined the steering committee for the Epilepsy Walk, the Walk to End Epilepsy. Let me say it like that, because that's what it is. The Walk to End Epilepsy that takes place on April 27th on the National Mall. I'm a part of the steering committee, and I'm also, again, the official DJ and one of the hosts. We actually brought on Joe Claire to be a host also for the walk. So I'm so happy to have him. So this is the second year, and I was in being a part of the steering committee and having conversations with Tawana Lamar, who is the walk director. We came up with Artists Unite for Epilepsy because of last year's concert, and it's me gathering, artists from this area, and I will travel and go to other walks and get artists within that area to have a concert to raise funds to donate to the Epilepsy Foundation. So this is my second year doing the Epilepsy Sucks concert, and it's being done now under the Artists Unite for Epilepsy banner. Okay. And I'm super proud of it. Last year, I was just so proud to be able to donate money to the foundation. And the concert this year is going to be on April 24th, Wednesday, April 24th, at Big Chief in D.C. That's on Fenwick Street. If you're familiar with it, right off of New York Avenue, it's 2002 Fenwick Street, Northeast Washington, Big Chief. And that's happening on the 24th, which is next week. So we're really, really close to it. And a portion of the funds from that will be, again, donated to the Epilepsy Foundation. We were able to raise $2,000 last year. So I hope to, go above that number and continue to grow to be able to, give to that foundation, because there's so many people that have seizures. There are people that have seizures every day, all day. Mm-hmm. And if you ever had a seizure for whatever reason, unfortunately, you know what that feels like. So if you can imagine children that have seizures all day, every day of their lives. And there are people that are blessed to, have figured out, their body chemistry and they take care of themselves and different medical reasons to be seizure free for a week, a month, a year. But if you're someone that's continuously having seizures and you're able to go a couple of days or a week or a year without one, that's a blessing. That is a true blessing. So I'm proud to be a part of that fight to get people living better lives that live with epilepsy.
Yeah, because I feel like I know some people who've gone through who deal with epilepsy on a regular basis, and just knowing the efforts that you've been putting into this and knowing how personal it is for you, I think a lot of people out there who suffer from it and are looking for ways to just really receive, whatever care they need, and just raising awareness to the condition. It's very important. It's very important.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And the fact that you have united so many big names in the DMV to be a part of this whole situation. You mentioned Pinky Killicorn earlier. She's on the bill. Kenilworth Katrina's also on the bill. But then you also have like vendors, like you have Eat that's involved. and also ADST Apparel is also involved, among many people that are involved in the effort. So like just being able to galvanize so many people to be a part of it, I think from what it sounds like or what it seems like, you're definitely in a good position to raise even more money this year than last year. And raising $2,000 is definitely a huge feat in and of itself.
I mean, I was super happy to be able to do it. I mean, I cried outside the Epilepsy Foundation before I went in. I cried on the way. I cried sitting in the parking lot. It was just a really beautiful moment. And I have to, shout out definitely Grindstone. That's going to be a part of the Mixed in Merch from 8 to 10. We're going to be doing Mixed in Merch, where, of course, the artists can sell their merch. And then we have, like you mentioned, Eat, ADST Music, and Grindstone. And I have to shout those three out because they're actually donating merchandise to be sold. And the proceeds from that merchandise will go to the Epilepsy Foundation. So, big shout out to those brands for being a part of it. And then we have Cavassier, who's actually a sponsor also. And that would be, you would think, alcohol and epilepsy don't mix, but for lack of better terms. But actually, Cavassier has expressed wanting to be a part, which they are, a part of, health. In our community. They don't want us to just, feel, add to our, nights of feeling good, but they actually want to be a part of changing, helping people live better lives in health. So it's a big shout out to them. I have to say Cal Rips, who is Cal Rips and Sir EU, DJ Murata. All of these people that are on the concert are personal friends of my nephew, Avion Andromeda. Wow. Cal Rips is actually my other nephew, who is Christopher's brother. Cal Rips is actually Calvin to me. That is Christopher's natural brother. Wow. So, yes, he's a dope MC. They, the DNA, it's in our DNA. So I have to give a shout out to them. Yeah, I shout out to Louis the 15th, who is also my nephew. It's in our DNA. But all of the artists that were chosen to be on the show this year have a personal connection to Christopher. Yeah. Tilo Letitia has a personal connection to my nephew Christopher. So that's why the lineup is the way that it is. Pinky Killicorn, I saw Pinky for the very first time at one of my nephew's shows. That's where I saw her. This is some 5 years ago. So that's how the lineup came about for this show on the 24th. So I'm super excited about it because they are all dope in their own right. There are some incredible artists.
Yeah, agreed. Every last one of them. Like I have familiarity with all of the artists that's on the lineup, as well as most of the vendors and the people that are going to be involved. Just period with the show. Like everybody it's almost like Voltron forming together. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I got to give a big shout out to Flawless, who's also going to be a part of the event, and it's all going to be hosted by my girl Steph Lover. Yes. So I spoke to Steph about it, and Steph was like, "Absolutely, sis, I want to be a part of it." So shout out to her because Steph is just a supporter of mine as I am of her. But as soon as I mentioned it to her, she was like, "Absolutely, sis." So she's going to be our host for the evening.
That's awesome. That sounds like that should be a fantastic event for a great cause.
Yeah, it's gonna be bananas.
Yeah. So one last thing that I wanted to ask you, with Retrina 9 being out, is this a sign that we can expect maybe a new album from you anytime soon?
Absolutely. Expect lots more music. Okay. That's the thing. It's once you're an artist, you're always an artist, and I know like any artist, I would assume I would say I'll step out there and say 90% of the artists that you haven't heard for a long time, we just constantly record. I don't have to record anything else from this day, and I probably could give you 5 years worth of music from now till 5 years. Wow. Because I just constantly record. But definitely to answer your question, please, yes, look for new music because I will be releasing new music. Yes.
That's great. That's great to hear because, like the world definitely we need more nonchalant in our lives, you know what I'm saying? Especially with, you know, Trina non being out, you know, and like all the things that you've done previously. We definitely need more of that in hip hop right now. I mean, there's a lot of good music in hip hop, but like your voice specifically, like we definitely need that.
Thank you so much. Any promoters listening, if you can hear me, absolutely please reach out to me. Hit me at non202@yahoo.com, or you can reach me at nonprofittour@gmail.com. And if you'd like me to come and spit some bars in your city, definitely hit me, and I will be right there.
Yes, absolutely. And let everybody know where they can connect with you on social media as well.
Definitely. My social media is The Real NonChalant on IG. That is the Real NonChalant on IG. And then on Facebook, it's NonChalant. And then on Twitter, it is The Super Non. The Super Non.
All right. So I'm going to, first and foremost, thank you so much for doing this interview. This, like I said, this is an honor. This is a pleasure to have you on the show. A hip hop legend, a DC legend, like just a legend all the way through and through. Just, I'm happy to see you like just still doing things and still spitting, adding playing records to your, to your repertoire, production to your repertoire, like just so many layers, like just showing the world, like, hey, I'm not just 5 o'clock, like.
Absolutely.
I definitely appreciate what you've been doing for hip hop culture, and just please continue to do it. And however, I can support you here at bars or, outside of it, please let me know. I'm all for supporting the legends.
And thank you. So I thank you so much for having me. I genuinely appreciate it. And I thank you so much. Thank Bars for so much for what you all do for the culture, for music in general. So, and for the culture. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate that coming from you. So I'm going to go ahead and let you close out by introducing your hot new single.
All right, Bars listeners. So again, this is your girl NonChalant, and it is featuring my girl Robbie MC and my girl Kenilworth Katrina, and the name of this record is Ratrina Non, available right now on all platforms.
All right, thanks again, and we'll be getting together and talking together soon. All right.
Okay, peace. Thanks for having me. Peace.
All right, now, peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We got, of course, we gotta really add a little fire to this record right here and make it this.
If somebody tell you he hot, man, everybody hot now, man, he fish grease.
That's how we feel about this track right here. This is the Fish Grease Pick of the Week, only on Bars, on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Class but never paid attention. Fresh paper, number 2 pencil. Busy writing rhymes, staring out the window. I can see myself on billboard pictures. Little kid, but with a lot of vision. Single home, one television. I would wash the dishes, tell my little sisters I'ma make it one day in the music business. Grew up listening to Salt and Pepper, Roxanne Shante, and a couple others. Whatever happened to women and substance? Nowadays, only a couple others. So I fill my cup up with plenty of it. Double up, they say it's all or nothing. I was born with nothing, did a lot of struggling. So before I go, I'ma accomplish something. Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, look, hey, you are now rocking with the best. Nigga, real life, this is not a test. All I need is a little time, just a minute more, not a second less. All the mother went and took a rest, but these queens went and took it left. For these bars, you gon' need a rest, cause these bras are some lethal weapons. That's 9 on the beat. Got Roddy MC, Queen. We bomb when you know warning, so keep calm when you speak. Set it off with a bang, bang. We bout to murder the gang, gang. Whether you heard of me or not, I'm making sure niggas remember the name. So hot I flicker the flame. Coco, they say I'm sick in the brain. Me and you, we not the same. I'm in a whole nother lane. Yeah, say what you wanna, but you wanna pull me, I hit you. So with them things. That's when you know I ain't playing. Cause you saying. Now that's dope, yeah. Now that's
mistakenly thought I was a rookie. I'm Gary Payton, my career at a standstill. Feel like I've been blanking, I'm just saying I ain't delirious. I don't take nothing too serious.
Oh, now we rapping. Trina got me on my Kenilworth. A hungry artist, I eat a rapper for dinner first. I watch my circles, the energy and the inner worth. This game is sinister, that's why I call her minister. Hello? Remember her? The one that gave you battle rap and fanny packs. Watch the win awards on my accord, I want my Grammy back. Hand me that, give them what they want. It's 5 o'clock, hit up NonChalant. Like this for the city, for the dreamers, for the have-nots. The underdogs with big paws, I'm the mascot. Don't worry about the destination or the last stop. Hey, you ain't know we been dope, go play the last drop.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man.
Hey, yo. I wanna ask a few questions. Will there be more sessions of you dropping blessings or?
Killing me with these 21 questions. I will kill like 21 sessions. That will give you 21 blessings. That will teach you 21 lessons. That my lyrics always gon' have a higher percentage of some relevance. Yours narcoleptic, lazy, lack intelligence. No hate though, really wanna connect you dum-dum just like you Legos. In the meantime, kill so many more micro pesos. Cause hypothetical privileges got me all on my biblical. Nonchalant, you so lyrical. That is why we be feeling you. Flatline, nah, where the hell you been? Hate that line. Check 1, 2 on the mic, hit flames on the food, then making me that line. Flatline, another dead mic and I wake up the NonChalant. I did at my hiatus, so you listening to the greatest, baby. Yeah, yeah, that's dope, man. 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 I'm so, I'm so, I'm so, I'm so, I'm so, I'm so.
Salute kings and queens. This your man Villadom, aka Mr. Briefcase. Now rocking with my man AJ Throwback on bars. The official hump day motivation for the DMV and beyond. Only on WinDC Radio. Power.
DJ Swift on the tour.
Tell you that they want to see you win, but their main intention is to bury you. See, once you in that hearse, everybody try and carry you. But we ain't with that. We exterminating all rats. Oh, you ride? I hope all your flats.
You can catch it too.
I'ma live like a king, cause rich is gangster.
Rich.
Wealth is royal. But these streets is forever.
Eat Factory Studio.
I'm just trying to live like a king. Charge them 29 for a whole thing. Pull up on they block and let that chopper bang. Pull up on they block and let that chopper bang. I'm just trying to live like a king. Charge them 29 for a whole thing. Pull up on they block and let that chopper bang. Pull up on they block and let that chopper bang. I'm a certified 5 boss. Aim for who poppin', knock his knockin' off. Take these free shots like an open bar. Loud fill a room when we open jars. Break it down, back seal a whole zip. It costs to be the boss, you can't hold shit. I heard plot and let him hold 6. Treat him like a thought, we expose you. Man, all these ratting, all these tell him. Fucking up the code, DJ Rumpelstiltskin. When he spin his gold, birthday in December. So my heart is cold each and every winter. The day they took my dog, I always remember. You a dead man walking, Michael and Thriller. We gon' get it, cause we gotta get it. I just had a nephew, so this shit litty. I just dropped the clothing line to up my city. 2 king, boy, it's 2 king. When you see me coming, bet that Hussein. 100 round chopper, tie up the loose ends. I don't like talking about who, no. Cause them boys will leave a soul in the phantom ghost. Do right and kill everything, is free smoke. Don't got them ducking when we slow stroll. 225, what I charge for a whole O. For a half, now we talking 16. We define power, that's by any means. Money on my mind, so all I think is green. Free my dog. couple days they off for quarantine. Only real understand the G. We don't lay with cats, that's why you catching fleas. Call me Westbrook, triple doubles, all I need to see. I'm just trying to live like in King. Charge them 29 for a whole thing. Pull up on they block and let that chopper bang. Just put up on they block and let that chopper bang. I'm just trying to live like in King. Charge them 29 for a whole thing. Pull up on they block and let that chopper bang. Just pull up on they block and let that chopper bang. Tell them that I got what you need. El Chapo motivation where I need to be. Tell them keep on skating till they let you free. Colombiana on the way, it come from overseas. So it's 25, that's for every key. Big dog in the paint, Shaq in 93. 8 to 24, I feel like Kobe B. Got me eating, I feel like Heavy D. Just grab some Steve Madden, they look like Louis V. And on them, dripping on them, make a hater mad. Dirty money, clean me all, that's how I take a bag. Sneakers lace just in case I gotta chase a bag. A man is not old until his regrets take place in his dreams. We finessing on all you haters. Allah forgive them for what they do not know. Allah forgive them. Winning is defined by who in the lead. Trap the ball now and we up. It's heavy on our side. North side. King.
Bars on Windy C Radio.
Actually like that. Yeah. Right game.
If I want him, he a goner. Foreign wet, been in corners. Fat tipper tip like a drummer. Walking lake, hot it, I'm a sauna. If I want him, he a goner. Foreign wet, been in corners. Fat tipper tip like a drummer. Walking lake, hot it, I'm a sauna. If I want him, he a goner, he ain't coming back. I get that face, he eat and leave, I call it done and dash. He love me like I'm his Aaliyah, he my diamond dash. I hop up out the coupe and re-up on another bag. Counting up these rags, hand me down these rags. Will I make these mad, snatching up they baby dads. Pick them off the 1 and 2, 100, what the fuck is that? I need at least a couple $1 billion just to shake this, Grip clean, what the fuck you mean? Caramel, vanilla, whipped cream, want a piece of me. Sweet tooth, yummy, cookie milk, I'm going dummy. Hopping on them like a bummy, that's my baby, call me mommy. 1 time for my classy, yeah. 2 times for my nasty, who know how to do a split on it. Got the whole club lit, hot bitch, walking late. If I want him, he a goner. Foreign wet, been in corners. Fat tipper tip like a drummer. Walking lake, hot it, I'm a sauna. If I want him, he a goner. Foreign wet, been in corners. Fat tipper tip like a drummer. Walking lake, hot it, I'm a sauna.
You hear this spot right here? This could be your spot where you pull your new customer. If you're an asset or established business or entrepreneur and you believe you have the right product for our audience, then advertise with Bars. For more details on our rates, packages, and deals for first-time clients, email balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
Man, she is beautiful. Never seen anyone like that before. She's got to be new. I ain't never seen her. Man, what's her name?
Well, I'm back on this track, not to attack, but just to relax. I'll be your jazz with the voice as smooth as a sax. This Gemini is versatile, gifted just to make you smile. You'll check my easygoing style. Won't you chillin', stay a while, and I'll be ready when Freddie he calls my name. Don't let me get me like Pink when I get my fame. Not running games, but if you game, I don't mind. I don't mind. will stay the same through joy and pain. True, I will remain. Get on my knees and thank God that I will never change. Cause see, this world is hard enough. When niggas wanna bluff and chickens wanna stuff, then I plays it tough. But not today, we gonna sway and parlay. Move that negativity out the way. I will achieve, you best believe, and just like Eve.
Who's that girl?
Right.
I felt the love when
yeah,
my heart skipped when I heard the truth when
say my name. See, I like this song by Freddie Jackson, but like the Method Man, I got to get my thing in action and make it happen. Cause my daddy wanted this little girl back in the days. You gotta do your own thing, nay, in your own way. That's right, no more delaying. My destiny will come to pass. See, I'm here to last. I ain't going nowhere. And if you wanna chill with me, that's alright. Yeah, it's alright. My vibe will make you feel at ease and please. Fresh as Jamaican breezes and cool as shades from trees. I make you run and ask your mama. Yo, who's this miss? Lighting up the stage like Lola Falana. Cause Donna don't work as hard as me for my money. I don't care if you's a honey. I don't let nobody run me. And you haters better ask somebody.
Who is she?
Right.
I felt the love when
yeah,
my heart skipped when I heard the truth when
say my name. Now I be sparking mad isms up off this rhythm. This entity better known as Janae Isms. The prism have risen with immaculate color of red and green and black, representing my culture. So check the structure, be it all of these slanted eyes. You paralyzed cause I got God by my side. So if you wanna take a ride, you'll be fine. Let's go ride. I'm bringing happy days like Joni and Chachi. Watch me get in the seams of blue jeans like I was Versace. Yes, this lyricist has yet been rated, but I'm incredible, exceptionally educated. Created as a woman and you know I'm speaking true. Janae is coming soon to theaters near you, and they'll be asking worldwide. Right.
Ooh, I felt the love when
yeah,
my heart skipped when I heard the truth when
say my name. Yeah, there you have it. I go by JOHNAA. Y'all remember that? Yeah.
It's time to get back to AJ Throwback and Bars, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
Rescheduling his interview, so hopefully we'll get him back on soon. King Mars with Daya King, and starting off the set with the Fish Grease pick of the week, our special guest of the day, hip-hop legend NonChalant, featuring Rod the MC and Kenilworth Katrina with Rodtrina Non. And You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna be hearing quite a bit of that in the future. That's a hot track right there. All right, definitely got to make sure before we get into this next segment, I want to make sure okay, I guess no sound. 1 second. Well, 1 second. Let me flip something here. All right. Appreciate Christina. Appreciate you letting me know didn't have any sound, so I was just rapping, just talking. Shout out Nico. I appreciate you for making sure I'm good. So you didn't hear one word I just said. Let me turn this music down because I know it's probably loud. You definitely wouldn't be able to hear me then. Yeah. So I'll repeat all of what I just said. You just heard Johnny featuring J Hill the singer with Johnny. Shout out to her for including that dope Freddie Jackson sample in there, you know what I'm saying, from Janae, from his Just Like the First Time album. I know that because I used to terrorize my mother and my brother with Freddie Jackson in the household for like 3 years when I was still living with my mama. So yeah, nice little throwback right there. Good flip of the sample. Before that, we had Chingling Mula with Hia Garner, King Mars with Daya King. Shout out to King Mars. He was supposed to be here today, but he had some personal issues that he had to take care of, and he had to reschedule his interview. But you know, we had to make sure we shout out the homie right there. And starting off the set with the Fish Grease pick of the week, we had our special guest, hip hop legend NonChalant, featuring Rod the MC and Kenilworth Katrina with Rodrina 9. Y'all gonna be hearing plenty of that record right there. Shout out to everybody who just tuned in, participated in the whole interview, and just been watching all day. Shout out Lisa Dove Washington of Girls Gabbing, along with her co-host, Andrea Riley. They come on every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on WinDCRadio.com. So shout out to her. And shout out to her. She actually has an event coming up. Let me see. It is, I had it pulled up. Bear with me 1 second. So, while I'm talking about her event is she's releasing a book called The Power of Shut Up. We referred to it earlier in our interview with NonChalant. That'll be Saturday, April 20th, this Saturday, from 3 to 5 p.m. at 1450 Mercantile Lane in Largo, Maryland. So definitely make sure y'all come through and support her and buy plenty of copies of that book right there. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Lisa Dove Washington. Shout out to my main man, Justin, Narcissist, aka Narcissist. Shout out, brother. I appreciate you tuning in. BJ tuned in, peeked his head in a little earlier today. Let's see who else came and showed some love. Of course, the Mrs. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get to her segment real shortly. So appreciate you for riding with a brother, baby. You know what I'm saying? My main man, Derek Jones, Card Logic, tuned in. Make sure y'all subscribe to him and watch Card Logic. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. you'll be able to watch Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Periscope. So go to see him on MrCardLogic.com and you'll be able to connect with him all across the board. My main man, DC's own Smoke D, watching earlier. ADST Music, whose instrumentals we're playing right now. And shout out to you one more time, good brother, for hooking up that interview with NonChalant today. I appreciate you. And yeah, we're playing his instrumentals right now. So had to show you some love, brother. And also, you can't really see it, but I'm also wearing ADST apparel. So you know, full service here. You know what I'm saying? Full shout outs here. You know what I mean? Let's see who else was tuned in. Neen. Let's be clear, along with Neen and Becky. They'll be on next Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. right here on WinDCRadio.com. G4, Sky's the Limit. Shout out to you, brother. Let's see who else. And of course, the Wong host. She started season 2 this past Sunday. So if you missed it, please look her up on SoundCloud. I think it's on iTunes and I believe Google Play. So Seat at the Table podcast. Man, season 2 underway. Episode 1 already in the books. She's got a dope episode lined up for this Sunday in honor of 420. You know what I'm saying? But it's a very involved conversation that she's gonna have about marijuana. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all are following her on social media. On IG, she's at a seat at the _table. On Twitter, it's seat at the _table. And on Facebook, is grab a seat at the table. So shout out to Wong host. Yeah, shout out my cuz CW Allen. You know what I'm saying? I see you peek your head in, brother. Latanya. Shout out Latanya. Appreciate you watching as well. And yeah, let's go ahead and get to this right here.
It tastes just like it smells. Delicious.
Right before you take that long-awaited break and get your grub on, come and get a hefty helping of life and laughter, courtesy of stories about our beloved Team Bars El Capitan. It's time for Luncheon with the Misses, only on Bars.
All right. So y'all know how we do about this time. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because I always wanted this segment to be around lunchtime, but I mean, it's lunchtime right now. You know, there's plenty of people, you know, stuffing their faces right now. So, you know, a little luncheon with us, the family, what we do. So, today is another situation, like, you know, it's not overly jokey, but it's not overly serious. You know, somewhere in between. So, over the weekend, well, actually before the weekend, my wife, you know, we're putting our son into kindergarten. So he's going to enter kindergarten in September, and she took him to the elementary school that we plan on sending him to, Galway Elementary School in Silver Spring. And, you know, education and sending your child to the right school is important, and having them around the right teachers and staff and principals, people who are truly invested in their education, is absolutely important. So we could have very well sent him to the closest neighborhood school, which was Greencastle. But yeah, we looked that up. That wasn't necessarily a good look. So we looked up Galway, and Galway is a lot more, a better rated school. And I wish I could have gone with them to his orientation, because the way that the missus described it all, it was just like an amazing experience for our son. And, you know, like, he just went in there, and I think we were both nervous because he hasn't really been around other kids. And, you know, sometimes, to be honest, you know, our son could be a little bit awkward, you know, like he has his little quirks, he has his little Jasonisms, you know. And so, yeah, so we were kind of concerned in how he would adjust and being around other kids and, you know, just interacting with other people for a long period of time. So I think he was there about 2.5 hours. And I think what it was, like, they took him to the classroom, and they took my wife to like an orientation where, you know, like, I think she had to fill out some paperwork, and she was talking to some people. And after his 2.5 hours were up, everybody just was coming to my wife like, "You're his mom? Oh my gosh, Jason he's so amazing. He's so smart. He's so intelligent. He's so this," just singing his praises. You know, like, I mean, frankly, like a lot of people do, like, whenever we post videos about him, or, you know, whatever it might be. And I'm not the type to brag on my kid, but my kid is pretty awesome. You know, our kid is pretty awesome, you know. But I think when people were saying, like, "You're his mom," I think what it was that they were really saying, like, you could take it one way, like, "You're his mom," but on another end, it's like, "Wow, you're his mom. Like, you helped to get him to this point. You helped him to be this advanced." Because I think I'm not sure if the understanding was already that he wasn't even in daycare or anything before that. But the fact that he wasn't in daycare and the fact that he didn't have certain advantages, because my wife has been staying at home since he's been born. And so, but she has been working tirelessly with him in terms of his education. In fact, what's funny, we were at the park yesterday and I was talking to one of the, another mom, like it was a little boy there. And one of the things that I was saying to her was, my wife, she stayed at home with him. And even though like he'll watch TV, he'll play on his tablet, but he'll read. Like he will quickly pick up a book. And all across the board, it's just like, I just sing the praises of my wife and the job that she's done with our son. Like the reason why he is advanced. And another thing they pointed out was how well-mannered he is. And the thing is, it's like, that's how we are raising him to be. But a lot of that has to do with my wife. I mean, I'm home. It's not like I'm just like not home all the time, or like I'm always on the road or something crazy like that. But at the same time, my wife is always with him, always instilling wisdom in him, knowledge, just manners and how to approach life and how to approach situations. She's always teaching him. There's always a teachable moment with him. And so for those teachers to like just really sing his praises, they're really singing her praises. And they really were at the end of the day because of how advanced he is. Like, but for me, I'm sitting back when she's telling me the story, I'm like, well, duh. Like, you're awesome. That's why he is where he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, and the teachers don't know that, or they might not necessarily be privy to that information. But if I were there, that's what I would be thinking. Like, duh, my wife is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has been working tirelessly with this dude. Like, that's why he is where he is. So, for me, that was a moment to really, while singing my son's praises, he's awesome. He is intelligent. He is bright. He gets so much of who he is and how he thinks and how he acts around people, how he treats people. He gets a lot of that from my wife. And I thank God for my wife being the person that she is. And I thank God that she stayed home with him all of that time. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things I was talking to that lady at the park about was daycare. Daycare is rough. You know what I'm saying? It's really expensive, and a lot of times you are rolling the dice with daycare. And we both decided, like, okay, let's do the stay-at-home thing. Let's make sure that the knowledge that he gets, it starts with us. The wisdom that he gets, it starts with us. It starts in this household. And I feel like my wife has truly set our son up for success in life. So, baby, I salute you. You are awesome. You're wonderful. You're my queen, and I love you very much for what you've done for our son, our household, and all of that. Yeah, I'm being mushy, y'all. That's my boo thing. That's my boo thing. My boo thing. That's a little inside joke, y'all. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get back into the music for a little bit, and then we're going to come back with the community cap. Well, actually, we're going to see what we're doing time-wise. But, either way, we're going to have some bars for life and all of that, but we're going to go ahead and get back to the music. This is the homie Tone Butter with Beat of My Life, right here on the official Hump Day Motivation for the DMV and beyond. This is Bars.
Those who had love for me, just for dirty dollars in them streets, it was ugly. Thinking looking at the dudes I grew up with was my mans. Even if they see me drowning, probably wouldn't lend a hand. Slutty girl, street cred, went straight to my head. Didn't even see the fall. Devil had me by the leg, thinking that I had it all. Ego bigger than my dreams. One thing about this life, things not the way it seems. It's in the blink of an eye, just as quick as you gain. You could be at the bottom because the Lord will take everything. Struggle with the pressure from the rumors and the lies. Left me out in the cold, I was steady getting high. Paranoid, endless beef, kept me in the constant fear. Dead friends full of grief, Lord wipe away my tears. Lonely nights in my room, suicide what I felt. Bob Marley just sang, can't run away from yourself. I know I done a lot of wrong, but God please wake my heart. Life got me overwhelmed, I just keep falling apart. On my knees as I pray, please take this pain away. Get the devil off my back, it's a satanic attack. What I come to understand, I didn't see what's in front of me. All the storms I went through was for the purpose to humble me. Thank you Jesus for mercy, all the times that you carried me. When I barely could walk, the devil was trying to bury me. I wish I could take back the foolish person I used to be, but then again I don't, because it taught me and strengthened me. A error not in vain if you learn from the mistake. When life give you limits, gotta make lemonade. So I groove to my heartbeat and follow the light. And the music in my soul just got me bouncing to the beat of my life.
Giving you the full spectrum with our topics, segments, guests, and of course, the best indie music in the DMV and beyond. This is the Balancing Act Radio Show, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media. neighborhood? Then submit it for the bar's community calendar. Send all important information, including point of contact, to balancingactradioshow@gmail.com. That's balancingactradioshow@gmail.com.
I'm hoping that you stay up with me for a while. I'm hoping that you get dough with me for a while. I'm hoping that you spit blow with me for a while, just a little while. Like style. I'm hoping that you stay up with me for a while. I'm hoping that you get dough with me for a while. I'm hoping that you spit blow with me for a while, just a little while. Like style. It's 9 o'clock on the dot, rolling all day, smoking pot, my eyes bloodshot. Ride home, paper 2 o'clock, blush. He used my company. He beefing with grain and he beefing with seed. He got a case pending, so I know he need the cheese. Both he and me make a living off the streets about 12 o'clock. People peel out, but not. He loads his clock, looking at me. I'm damn near asleep with a nut. Stay up with me, B. I'm so up, roll another Dutch, sip the gin. I will bust shots, don't block the jack, man. It's now going on 4 o'clock. I made 300 bones alone on the block. Made more than me, that's how it be. 20 minutes after 4, we ready to go. Hop in the lack, he dropped me off at the door. Plus a slab, he said I like the style. I'm hoping that you stay up with me for a while. I'm hoping that you get dough with me for a while. I'm hoping that you spit blow with me for a while, just a little while. Like style. I'm hoping that you stay up with me for a while. I'm hoping that you get dough with me for a while. I'm hoping that you spit blow with me for a while, just a little while. Like style. Rhyme sick, remember the cold nights of December. Case of brew in a sack on the agenda. Once in my whole life, I loved the winter. We would hunt all night for chicks we could enter into the Parmesan. Kept me warm too. Everybody rolling up blunts in the crew around the tire fire. Half a pound we done light up. Sipping shit, smoke liquor. Unchicken quickly turn the pine up. Black pack for 22. Now he got 10 to do. When he get out, I hope he make better moves. On CPR, live legends with the dope. On CPR is when I start to flow. Me and Rhyme Sick was 2 artists with prime time spit, but the limelight miss. Minor differences with major innocence. When I reminisce, we shim in the fridge, cause now we grown. I'm hoping that you stay up with me for a while. I'm hoping that you get dough with me for a while. I'm hoping that you spit blow with me for a while, just a little while. Like style. I'm hoping that you stay up with me for a while. I'm hoping that you get dough with me for a while. I'm hoping that you spit blow with me for a while, just a little while. Like style. We gotta keep in touch. I'ma miss you so much. I'm drinking Hennessy till I throw up my guts. It ain't enough weed to fill up my Dutch. I'm pissy reminiscing, trying to roll it in the kitchen. Really wishing I had a hometown slut in the same hole. I used to finger those dwarfs in the rental. Blazing tropo with my kinfolks in politics. With some new chicks I love too, but I wanna call all 6. Other than that, the things bringing stacks. So I grin, but the good times soon end. I can kill my friend, but I can't stop living. Catching cases all black men been feeling. My guts can sing, but can't stay out of the claim. Thanks a million for the love of finding things. Don't be down, turn a frown to a smile. Come on now, stay with me for a while. Bet you be ballin' out, getting paper from the hater route. Anybody in the way gets taken down. My style of demand never on drought. What I'm saying is flip that brick, get the bread and quick. Cause the last kid got 10 so quick. Not just time, also bullets. The rhyme train need flow. Rappers whacker than the latest Lakers show. Whacker than the Panthers and 4 Super Bowls. Whackers out of hoping that you stay up with me for a while. I'm hoping that you get dough with me for a while. I'm hoping that you spit blow with me for a while, just a little while. Like style. I'm hoping that you stay up with me for a while. I'm hoping that you get dough with me for a while. I'm hoping that you spit blow with me for a while, just a little while. Like style.
Welcome back to the Balancing Act Radio Show, hosted by AJ Throwback, only on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, powered by GoWin.media.
ADST.
All right. What's going on, everybody? That was Barnett with For a While that we just heard. Before that, we had Tease with Loved You, and starting off the set, Homie Tone Butter with Beat of My Life. Shout out to everybody that's still riding with the bars to the very end. Appreciate y'all for still tuning in. What I'm going to do with the community calendar, I'm going to put all of the information that I have. I'm just going to put it on our IG page since we're running short on time today. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and hit this right here.
Words of wisdom to get you through the rest of your week. These are the bars for life.
Okay, so the late great Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan." That's a powerful quote right there, because a lot of times, and I've been guilty of it too, and I think we all have been, it's easy to say, oh, I wish I could do this, or I wish I could do that, or I wish this would happen, or I wish that would happen, instead of just putting that same energy in wishing and thinking about it and hoping that it will happen, to actually making it happen, to putting a plan in motion to see it come to fruition, to see whatever the vision is, whatever the dream is, whatever the idea is, to see it come to fruition. Because wishing is cool, but planning is better. So I've learned in my older age and doing a lot of the things that I'm doing, including this show, including being an artist, all the way around, is that the only way to make a wish come true is to plan it. Is to plan the steps to actually make it come true. Because I don't want to, I don't want to live with regrets. And I would hope that nobody out there who's listening to my voice, who's watching me right now, would want to live with regrets in their life because all they did was sit around and wish. So, dude, that's changing the mindset right there. It's all about, what your attitude is, what your hope is, what your goal is. Not your hope, but your goal. I mean, it is a hope. It starts as a hope, but it has to turn into something more in order for it to be real. And so it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to wish, or do you want to plan? Take the same amount of energy, according to Eleanor Roosevelt. So shout out to Eleanor Roosevelt for our Bars for Life for today. Later today, we have DMV Culture Club from 6 to 8 p.m. and Grind Season Radio from 8 to 10 p.m. right here on WinDCRadio.com and the WinDC Radio app, and online at I did just say WinDCRadio.com. I'm slipping. And many of these very programs are available on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Y'all can also watch us on YouTube Live. If you're not a Facebook person, watch YouTube Live. You can actually access it through the app. So you can go through the WinDC Radio app, and you have an option to choose video. You'll see it. I think it's in the menu. So if you look in the menu, you'll be able to go straight to YouTube and watch us live there if that's your medium of choice. So once again, huge thanks to our special guest of the day, NonChalant, for sitting down, talking with us over the phone. But still, I am, like I said, I'm honored. True pleasure to sit down with a legend. True pleasure, you know, to get some game, learn some things, and be inspired, be encouraged. And I hope y'all, you know, even if you're not an artist, if you have a dream, if you have something that you know you're passionate about, just that's why we bring the people on that we bring on this show, because they keep you motivated. They keep me motivated. That's what this is all about. The official Hump Day motivation for the DMV and beyond. She's a DC legend, DMV legend, but it goes beyond just this area right here. So shout out to her once again. Shout out to ADST Music once again for hooking that up. And shout out to him for the music that's playing. And shout out ADST Apparel. Go look them up. I think it's adstapparel.com. Dope shirts if you want a Legend in My City shirt, hoodie, sweatshirt. He got the hookup. So shout out to him. And shout out to all of the listeners. Everybody who tuned in Facebook Live, YouTube Live, the WinDC Radio app, online the old-fashioned way. I appreciate and love each and every last one of y'all. Y'all helped to make this show a great show. I know them view numbers gonna be crazy today. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all. Like I said, y'all are my motivation every single week to get up out of my bed. 4 hours of sleep, in and out of sleep, don't matter. I am here. I'm dedicated because I'm dedicated to y'all and providing y'all with the best possible content. And shout out to all of our independent artists who really give us the fuel and the power and the music, the great music that they send us week after week, and just provide the soundtrack for bars. Next week, we have a special guest, Boogie, a woman who does a lot of different things, aka Boogie Nights, aka Boogie Bugatti. Does a lot of different things, web graphics and design, also does promotions. She was one time a manager, does a little bit of everything. This is a woman just like a Renaissance woman, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to bring her on so she can share her story with y'all. And yeah, make sure y'all tune into that show. That interview will be at 11:15. She'll be calling in from Atlanta, hailing from Houston but living in Atlanta. So you know what I'm saying, we expand the borders beyond the DMV, y'all. So make sure y'all tune into that show. We're gonna go ahead and close out with Jeremy Jones featuring Alyssa Nicole and Mr. Campbell with Pretty People. And y'all have a great rest of the week. It's gonna be a lot of nice days, so make sure y'all enjoy that weather. Get out, enjoy life, enjoy that sun, soak in that sun, and soak in spring. Spring is here, and hopefully to stay. Hopefully we won't see any more glimpses of winter, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Game of Thrones, y'all Game of Thrones people, winter is coming. But yeah, so y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. We'll see y'all right back here next week for the official Hump Day motivation for the DMV and beyond. Peace, y'all.
Walking around, you the coolest on the street. Rocking your outfit from Japan. Yeah. The one you bought on vacation last week. You're still on your parents' plan. Yeah. All of the peculiar things seem to be alright now. Easy following the coolest team in the fair weather. Used to laugh about us, talk about us. You better catch up, you can live without us. Oh, pretty people. You swear that you know me. Pretty people. Swerving on you. With the big old butt, you got back with the big old butt. Is it fake or not? Tell me, is it fake or not? Move to the city, you're the coolest on the street. Yeah. Tone up denim, rock expensive style. Run from your home and the birds have to leave. Smoke trees and watch anime. Melrose Avenue. $100 shirt at the thrift store. Keep those receipts from the thrift store. All of the peculiar things seem to be alright now. Easy following the coolest team in the fair weather. Used to laugh about us, talk about us. You better catch up, you can live without us. Pretty people, pretty people. You swear that you know me, Pretty people, swearing on you. With the big old butt, he got Maggie with the big old butt. Is it fake or not? Tell me, is it fake or not? Pat the powder on the face to keep the glow rise. Cake the face. And she hit the tan spot enough to keep the brown eyes. Doing what you gotta do to fit it. Dime penny working, use your body just to get into the club or the spot. The club fireworks ain't cheap, do trust you turning up or not? Turn it up. The catch-up game is a must. Sure, you ain't hip if you don't fall for lust. The bird is the word, swerve on the rings, kids and things. Hollywood monogamy is a curse, but it's curse when that new bag's out of stock. Or the jock at the gym ain't on your clock. You got games, but you scarecrow space slot. The lifestyle is a force, but we still flock. All of the peculiar things are known to be real it now. Steady following the coolest teams in our fair weather. Can laugh about us, talk about us. Can't match up or can't live without us. Pretty people, you swear that you know me. Pretty people, swearing on you. With the big old butt, he got Maggie with the big old butt. On you, is it fake or not? Session. Tell me, is it fake? Session. The selfie stick is coming out tonight. The selfie stick is coming out tonight. Hey. The selfie stick is coming out tonight. The selfie stick is coming out tonight.
Bars.
And that's it.
I did it. Mommy did it?
Yes. I do it.
Oh.
Want to say the bars?
You want to do bars?
Bars.